When making my Cartorhyn the Vernusylph video, I talked about how much Earth support we got in Power of the Elements. Also being an important one, since it opens the way to potentially more searches of that type in the future, which could be good for some decks. Then of course there's the Vernusylphs themselves, which I went over pretty thoroughly in that video. What I glossed over was this little guy. Cartorhyn, the Hidden Gem of the Seafront, is a level 2 water rock monster with 2 effects, one of which is super relevant to today's video. Upon discarding it, you get a second normal summon of an earth or water monster. That's it, no strings attached, no limits for the rest of the turn or anything, besides of course this effect being once per turn. Its second effect, while less important in this video, is still fine for other decks that might use it, like maybe Adamanticators. If you control both an earth and a water monster, it can also summon itself back from the graveyard. But the first effect is what really makes this card shine in today's deck, Traptrix. The Traptrix deck has a ton of strong effects on its main deck monsters, but the problem is they only activate on normal summon. So while Dionea's effect to revive a Traptrix is strong, it's only on normal summons, so unless you sacrifice a trap card to summon Vernusylph, you won't be getting that to work on turn 1. But with Cartorhyn, it's easy. Normal summon a Murmileo and search a trap, link it into a Sarah, and then summon Dionea with the extra normal summon and make it into a Rafflesia. Or even just search it with Mantis's first normal summon, and then revive it with your second. But you know what, that's not enough. We're turning this into a combo deck. Rafflesia or Redoer are fine, but what about a reliable Utopic Draco Future? With Cartorhyn being a rock, you can actually search it reliably with Gallant Granite. But making a rank 4 to search something to allow you to make a rank 4 is, most of the time, kind of pointless. That's where UDF comes into play. With Gallant Granite, as well as something else, like maybe an Alomeris, you'll be able to go into it reliably while also having Sarah, and sometimes even something like a Kularia. Of course, this needs you to draw one of your Exceed's freebie cards, which previously were Parallel Exceed and Shade Brigandine, but today we introduce a third one to the mix. Vernusylph of Awakening Forest fills a dual niche in this deck. First off, it can discard a Traptrix, letting you use Dionea's effect straight off. Then it will send an earth monster to the graveyard, which could be another Traptrix if you really wanted to, like a Vernusylph for its graveyard effect, but really what you'll want to send is a revival golem. Like its name implies, it revives itself. And then Forest revives whichever Traptrix you discarded, so that's another free rank 4 monster out of that interaction, this time not even requiring your normal summon. Considering that Traptrix usually lose if you destroy their normal summoned monster, this flexibility, along with the second normal summon from Cartorhyn, makes the deck a lot more resistant to interruption and can combo a lot harder going first. So let's take a look at the deck, shall we? Here it is. So to start with the cards you won't see too often in a Traptrix deck, you're running 3 Cartorhyn and 3 Forests, along with a single copy of Revival Golem. I said everything there was to say about them in the intro, so let's move on to our Traptrix monsters. Run 3 Dionea, Murmileo, Mantis and Vernusylph, followed by an optional copy of Genlycia. You want to draw quite a high amount of them to make it more likely to draw one alongside Dionea, or to be able to discard one for Awakening Forests. Then Parallel Exceed is an obvious staple for the deck, and Lord of the Heavenly Prison is a nice card for the deck, protecting your back row, giving you a high attack monster, and searching either another trap, or the next card, Change of Heart. The other thing is that, if you have everything you need to make 2 rank 4s, instead of searching Cartorhyn with Gallant Granite, you can search Lord of the Heavenly Prison and still go into a UFD. Change of Heart could be anything strong like maybe a Raigeki, but Change of Heart is at 1 and it's a great way to force a negate on turn 3, or just steal something to try to go for game. Speaking of going for game, despite it somehow being the brick that you'll always draw every single time, Double or Nothing for Utopia Double is still probably worth it. With way more chances to go into Utopia Double, even through some interruptions, it's worth it to cheese out some wins. Now for traps. Honestly, just do whatever you want when it comes to traps in this deck. Run as little or as few as you deem necessary, replacing them as other staple traps if you feel like it. It's all pretty format dependent anyway, so you'll just have to adjust it for what you need. However, keep the 3-shade Brigandines always, since it combos so well with Sarah. Now the extra deck. It's fairly flexible, but I wanted to show off stuff that works well with making a utopic Draco future. For links, 2 Sarah and a Cularia is good, although if you have a 3rd Sarah and feel like your lacking one was only 2, then you should go ahead and run it. Then a Pentastag makes the Utopia double OTK even more likely, so it's probably worth the slot. And it's one of the few uses for Cartorhyn's second effect of reviving itself. Then onto Exceeders. Utopia and Utopia Double work together to slam your opponent for 10k. One of each Traptrix is enough, with Alameris being slightly more useful in this build than usually, as we'll see later. Then the Utopic Draco package gives you a stronger boss monster going first, and we'll actually get to it pretty often. Gallant Granite either searches Cartorhyn for its extra normal summon, or Lord of the Heavenly Prison for its effect. Rika Queen Strenna is a bit of filler, but fills a dual niche purpose. Basically, you'll sometimes need to make a second rank 4 just to overlay into Utopic Draco future, so if you make this one, you can probably add a Traptrix back to your hand for turn 3, and you'll have a water and earth on the field, so you could summon back Cartorhyn. Gaga Magician is very optional, but basically does a neat little combo letting you end on an extra Cularia. You'll see that soon. Then we just have some regular good Xyz monsters, Zridua for some good removal thanks to Shade Brigandine, and Baguska to shut down some decks for a bit while still letting you use Sarah and Cularia. Well, that will often work for you, but when siding, or just if you want to change things up a bit, here are some options. First off, if you find yourself going up against Sword Soul too often, you can replace a Revival Golem with a Token Collector. It can activate from the graveyard, so you can send it with Awakening Forests, but then you won't be able to get another full rank 4 out of that. Another choice for a rank 4, if the Vernusylph has locked you into Earth monsters for that turn, is Giant Hand. It's still a monster negate as a quick effect, so it's not like it's that bad or anything. For links, Griffin under Sarah is actually fairly strong, especially since it could still fit a rank 4 on either side of it for next turn. And then Unicorn is just some good removal. Finally, when going second, siding in a treacherous trap hole to turn Rafflesia into a quick effect pop 2 is still worth it when trying to break a board. But that's enough of that. Let's look at some combos. I'll be showing off some test hands, but before that, make sure you like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the video. In this hand we have a Cartorhyn, but not a Dionea. Luckily Shade Brigandine compensates for that. Start by getting your extra normal summon, and then use it on a Traptrix. Make a Sarah, set Shade, and then summon it, which will trigger Sarah to get out a Dionea. You can then make a Strenna to add Dionea to your hand, and then normal summon it to revive a Traptrix and search a trap hole. Those make a Gallant Granite, who's free to search a Lord of the Heavenly Prison, who is still free to activate its effects to protect your traps. You're also free to revive Cartorhyn, before turning your Xyz monsters into a UDF. You now end with 2 traps set, UDF's Negate and Steal, Sarah's resource generating, as well as Lord of the Heavenly Prison, ready to protect your traps, and then search a Change of Heart next turn. This second hand doesn't have a Cartorhyn, but we'll get to it anyway. By normal summoning Mantis, we search a Dionea on summon, before making a Sarah. That triggers a Parallel Exceed to make a Gallant Granite, who then will search the Cartorhyn. Discarding that will let you normal summon a Dionea, triggering Sarah's search. You can get another 2 materials thanks to Shade Brigandine, and then once they're all on the field, go into Rafflesia and Strenna. Revive Cartorhyn, make a Utopic Draco future, and then end with some pretty powerful interruptions. Now for the Vernusylphs. The Siculae goes straight into Sarah, letting us get out both of the Parallel Exceeds. Then once again, Gallant Granite searches Cartorhyn, who activates. Now that you're done with activating non-Earth monsters, use Forest, sending Revival Golem and reviving their Siculae. Normal summon Dionea, get the search and the revive, and now you can once again go into UDF and Rafflesia with a set trap hole. For the final replay, here's a more niche but very cool combo. Get your second normal summon ready straight off, and then use one on Mermeleo for a trap search. Then Sarah triggers Parallel Exceed, who can go into an Alimerus. She revives Mermaleye, while triggering Sarah for another search of a trap. Turn those two into Cularia, and then use your extra normal summon on Dionea. After reviving another Traptrix, you can then make Gaga Gaga Magician, or revive Alimerus. Those two now let you go into UDF, with the additional effect that will be able to negate one of your own monster's effects this turn for cost, while bringing their attack up to 4000. Together with the Lord in the hand, and both Traptrix links generating a ton of resources, it'll be a very easy 80k on turn 3. And that's the deck! Will you try out this more combo-oriented Traptrix build? Tell me in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Special thanks to my tier 3 patron, Distran, as well as my tier 2 patron, Violet Rain. The link to that is in the description. Thanks for watching!